What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? I'm doing another movie review for you all, and unfortunately, I have the displeasure of bringing you the review of Halloween Ends. Um, I know this seems a little off for me to be doing a review about a horror movie, but I have recently got into some horror, I guess, slasher movies. Um, growing up, I was never a fan of horror movies, and I still am not. I'm not a fan of going into the theater and being uh, scared for entertainment. Nor do I like doing haunted houses or anything like that. But I will say I've broadened my horizons, and I really do like the Scream franchise. And with that being said, I watched the first Halloween movie 5 years ago, I believe, the first time, and that was around the time that 2018 was coming out. I didn't watch it. I watched it last year when I had COVID, or it might have been the year before. I think it was in 2021. So last year, I had COVID, and I found they were streaming it on Peacock, so I decided to watch it. And I watched it and Halloween Kills at the same time. Um, Halloween 2018, I enjoyed. I thought it was a good continuation of the story from Halloween 1978. But Halloween Kills is a different story. That movie is garbage. It's often comical, and what the people writing the story were doing, I don't know. Like, for instance, I guess this is going to be a spoiler if you haven't seen Halloween Kills. I don't know why you clicked on this one if you haven't seen it yet. But the scene where Michael is in the park at the playground and he kills all those people in the SUV. The part where the woman kills herself with her own gun is where I basically checked out of the movie. Um, and there was just so much stupid stuff, like at the end of the movie where he's getting absolutely demolished and somehow gets up and kills everyone and then ends up killing Laurie Strode's daughter. I thought it was a really stupid movie and the stupid ending to the movie. With that being said, I guess I'm gonna do a little synopsis of this movie before I get into that. But they ended up doing a time jump. This movie takes place in today. It's 2022. It's 4 years since the last movie. The night Michael Myers invaded. Came back to Haddonfield. Um, but with that being said, uh, it takes place 4 years afterwards. Laurie Strode is now moved in with her granddaughter, and everyone hasn't seen Michael in 4 years. And that's pretty much all I can give you for a spoiler-free review because this movie is completely not what was advertised in the movie. If you've clicked on any other review, they'll tell you that. Yeah, this movie has some very it has extremely ridiculous false advertisement because what you get from this movie is maybe a 16th of what is in the trailer. Like there is nothing. It's basically a bait and switch. What it feels like is they had an ending to this franchise, and someone had a movie idea but didn't have an ending, and they just somehow just put it together. It's very jolting and what they I don't know. But with that being said, the movie, in my opinion, if you're here for the spoiler free review, it's bad. Um, I honestly would give it like a 2 out of 10, maybe a 3 out of 10. I don't know. You're not getting what you want in this movie. I'm just telling you that you're going to be very disappointed if you are a Halloween fan. And if you're weird, and let's just say you like people that have movies that subvert your expectations to like the most wild extreme, you'll like this movie. I like to call those people the fans of The Last Jedi. But with that being said, though, yeah, this movie's bad. And if you go into it, just have the expectation you're not going to like it if you're expecting what's in the trailer. But with that being said, I'm going to move into my spoiler review. I'm going to do a little countdown right here, and I'm going to go into it. So, 1, 2, 3. All right, if you're still here, it's on you. So, what I didn't say, and what you all know, or you're just looking up to see how the movie goes, the movie begins with basically the main character of this movie, and it's surprising that Laurie and Michael aren't, but the main character is Corey Cunningham. It opens up the night he's watching a child. I guess it's supposed to mimic Laurie in the first movie. He's watching a young kid. He's nerdy looking. He's got glasses on. I mean, he's nerdy looking, a nerdy looking guy, and he gets hired to babysit this kid. The parents leave. They go to a Halloween party, I believe, and the kid ends up pulling a prank on Corey. There's like a knife that's gone from the table. It's basically setting up that Michael's at the house. Keep in mind, this is a year after Michael leaves, so people are still on edge of him coming back. But anyways, Corey's looking through the house for the kid. I believe his name is Jeremy. And he's looking everywhere for him, and he looks in the attic finally after numerous jump scares, intense moments. That you think Michael's going to be there, and he gets locked in the attic closet by the kid. He was pulling a prank on him, and basically he's telling him that he's going to keep him up there until the parents get back. And Corey's freaking out because he can do whatever he wants with him locked up in there, and he doesn't want that getting back to his parents. So he's telling the kid to open the door, and he's not doing it, so Corey just starts to kick it in. Keep in mind the attic is like on a third story of this like house, kind of like it reminds me of the Myers house in the first movie, but it's a lot fancier. It's like got 3 like rows of spiraling staircases, so it has one row where you can go up a level and then another row. But he kicks in the door finally, and about that time, his parents walk in, asking where he's at, and this boy who's probably like maybe 10, 11, I don't know, is unfortunately standing in front of the door and gets kicked and falls over the railing and breaks his neck, and blood is just everywhere. And I guess I should mention that Corey's also holding a knife up the stairs because he thought that someone was going to be up there. And the parents are like trying to get help for him, and he's clearly dead. Like his body's limp. Honestly, that's the most shocking part of this movie, is seeing that they killed a kid, like just like out the gate of the movie. But anyways, like I was saying, they look up, and Corey's sitting there with a knife, and basically they're like, why did you do this, and everything, and then it cuts to the Halloween title sequence like it does in every movie. And then it cuts to 3 years later, the time jump in 2022. Laurie's writing like a memoir, and talking about how people are affected by Michael's reign of terror again. Anyways, she stumbles along Corey, even though she was she came by the house that night that it happened with Corey and the kid, and she ends up finding him. In the present day, he injured his hand being bullied by kids, and Laurie picks him up and takes her to her granddaughter, who's a nurse now. Anyways, uh, they end up going to like a Halloween party. Him and Allison, Laurie's granddaughter, and he gets confronted by the Jeremy's mother. And anyways, he leaves the party, and the high schoolers that bully him end up throwing him over a bridge, and he ends up in the sewer, and that's where you find that Michael has been for the past 4 years. Michael gets a hold of him and has him by the throat, and then he looks into his eye, and he just lets him go. And then you see a homeless man come up to Corey like after he runs away, and he's holding like a knife up to him, and Corey ends up stealing the knife from him like in the struggle and stabs him and kills him. Anyways, Corey ends up having a relationship with Allison, and essentially her ex-boyfriend comes, who's a police officer now, and follows him, and he leads him into the sewer with Michael there and ends up killing him. But essentially, Corey and Michael end up teaming up and killing these random people. Yeah, you'll know them in the movie, but you know what I'm talking about. And Laurie ends up, having this feeling that Corey has this like darkness in him that Michael had in him. I don't understand the reasoning. I guess he's acting a little bit more weird around her, but whatever. Anyways, Corey ends up going in the sewers the night of Halloween and steals the mask from Michael. And Michael just lays in the sewers or whatever. And then essentially Corey ends up going and killing all of his bullies and everyone. And there's a really cool kill in the radio station. But that's about it, honestly. And hey, this is just I'm trying to remember this movie because there's a bunch of parts in this movie I just got extremely bored. But anyways, Corey ends up going into Laurie's house to kill Laurie, and she fakes like she's going to kill herself or whatever, and ends up shooting Corey with the mask on or whatever. She takes the mask off of him when he's laying on the ground, finds out it's him, and he ends up stabbing himself in the neck because Allison's about to come into the house, and he's trying to make Laurie seem like she's crazy or whatever. And Allison ends up leaving, and Laurie's still in the house with Corey's body. And then that's when you hear someone walk in and ends up stealing the mask from the floor from Corey, and it's Michael. Michael and Laurie finally, within like the last 10 minutes of the movie, have this very anticlimactic battle. But before that happens, Michael ends up going over to Corey and sees that he's still alive and ends up breaking his neck and killing him. And then back to the fight. They fight for a little bit. She tries to put her hand in the trash. I don't know what you call it. The little sink, the garbage disposal, and she ends up like hitting his head with her head, like headbutting him. And he gets knocked onto like the wood cutting like board or whatever, the big table, like the island. And Laurie ends up like stabbing both of his hands, basically crucifying him onto this table, and then slitting his throat and putting like a refrigerator on his legs, and she's sitting there, cutting his body up and stabbing him in the side and stuff. And then Michael gets his hand free, like basically slices it like vertically open and grabs Laurie, and basically she's like, kill me or whatever. And that's when Allison comes in and breaks his arm on the table, and then she stabs or cuts his arm and eventually kills him, I guess. Um, anyways, Michael's dead after that, and Laurie takes his body um, to a salvage yard and puts his body with everyone looking like she's parading the body around, and dumps Michael's body into like that shredder you see on like TikTok. I mean, just like something that crushes up cars, and it's pretty gruesome. I mean, it's pretty bad. That like if they write Michael back into the story like in this universe, then I'd like to see it, because he is demolished. Yeah, and it's not like you turn away and she does it and it doesn't show. No, you see it. You hear the bones cracking, everything, blood go everywhere, and yeah. After that, Allison leaves town. They've rekindled their relationship, her and Laurie. And Laurie ends up writing her memoir, and then goes outside, and the sheriff from the first movie, and I think he's in Halloween Kills and Halloween, the original, whatever, one she had a relationship with, and then they end up talking. And then the ending of the movie is her sitting outside, and you can see like Michael's mask laying in the house, and then it just cuts to the normal Halloween credits. But yeah, I guess I didn't emphasize it enough with my uh, summary of the plot. But Michael, like I may have mentioned, he's in the middle of this movie, but if he's in this movie, it's like maybe for like a minute in the middle of it, and then at the end he's in it for maybe like 5-6 minutes. So in total, Michael's really in this movie for 7 minutes. And in every other movie, yeah, maybe you don't see him fully, like you see him stabbing, you see like his movements or whatever. You see him longer in every other movie in this franchise than you do in this movie. And with it being marketed as this big, huge battle between Laurie and Michael, it is just a huge, huge letdown. Not only to mention, I did not like the plot of this movie. It would have worked if it was any other like franchise. Like I like the dynamic with Corey. It reminds me of Christine, the other John Carpenter film with the nerdy guy turning into like this, serial killer psycho. They actually share the same last name. I don't know why I can't think of his first name, but like I get that. Like I think that the actor that played Corey was doing good with what he was given. This movie, I don't know. I heard it was rewritten after they found out, about the reception to Kills, and also the pandemic played a part in the writing. But this is just, it is crap. I'm not doing it justice to say how bad it is. Like it's, I mean, go watch it if you want to. If you don't want to take my word for it, but if you have Peacock or have a Peacock trial, just end up doing that. Don't go to the movies to see this. It's honestly just a shame. And honestly, the one standout in this movie is Laurie. I don't know why they wrote her character in the last couple films is just absolutely crap crazy or just wacky as all get out. Because yes, what she went through in the first movie was traumatizing, but like Doomsday Prepper, like I mean, and the way she talks in the other movies is just weird. This movie, she feels like a real person that has been affected by stuff like that and is finally trying to get over it. But I don't know. Jamie Lee Curtis, does great with what she was given, but the writing, the plot, it if you're a big Halloween fan, I just can say probably it's going to be a big smack in the face, and I feel like this movie was made for the fans, like supposed to be, but it's totally not. So I don't know if they were trying to make a spin-off with Corey in there, or and then they were told they couldn't. I don't know what the thought process was, because it's finite with what is given, but at the same time they try to throw stuff in the last movie that made no sense for a last movie plot. If I'm doing that, I'm putting it in the second movie. That's where you can experiment, not in the where you land it, not where you land the story. I don't know. It's disappointing, and I'm glad I'm not that big of a fan of the series to be that appalled to it. But if just knowing how much this means to fans of Halloween and everything like that, this is just it's sickening to see what they've done. So yeah, like I said, it's a 2 out of 10 for me, maybe a 3 out of 10. But this movie is crap. So yeah, I figured I'd just get my review out. It's a little jumbled up, but just wanted to get it out there. So hope you all have a great day, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.